Hey, how you doing there again, folks? Me again, of course, Brandon Wenzel. Come back at you, another offering off my sampler platter. Yes, indeed, folks, sampler V series V's I've been doing for a little while now. I go over there, try out food and drink items. I eat stuff, I drink stuff. Then, folks, I'm gonna talk about the stuff. Folks, I'm gonna let you know all that you need to know about hopefully delicious stuff. That time I'm doing this, folks, I'm not gonna lie. I just got off of work and I needed something to eat, and so I was like, perfect opportunity to get in a review. But we'll get to that. Folks, it's super simple format. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to try out food and or drink items for you. Whilst I'm doing so, I'm going to yammer on about it for a bit. Whilst I'm doing all that, I'm in my back room today, which means you get Peter Can Thunderbolt poster. Ooh, Peter Can Thunderbolt poster. Aren't you so envious? Whilst I'm doing all that, folks, I am doing something else. What is it? I'm wearing a super cool shirt. And folks, when I wear super cool shirts, I always like to highlight the super cool shirt. What super cool shirt am I wearing for today? Well, folks, well, it happens to be my Texas Hippie Coalition shirt. Yay! One of a few that I have. I think I've got about 3 Texas Hippie Coalition shirts. If you're unfamiliar with the band Texas Hippie Coalition, they've been around for a while now, like over 10 years easily. I was fortunate. I got into them not when they first started out, but like when they first started gaining momentum. I actually became aware of them because they were on an episode of Jerry Springer. They weren't participating. They were just, for whatever reason, they had a musical guest that week. And I really liked what they were doing. I made sure to take note of it. And then, sure enough, I think maybe 6 months or something later on, they ended up touring around where I was. And I definitely made sure to be out there. And that's where I got this shirt. This is actually one of my oldest concert shirts. They're a really good fucking band. They consistently put out awesome music. Very sort of southern metal kind of stuff. I believe their own term is red dirt metal. I really like them a lot, so much so that I've actually got videos of a number of the performances of theirs that I've attended. Those videos are on this channel as well. Spit my cheek. So maybe you want to check that out, and if nothing else, I'd be happy to go over there and point you in the right direction because I think they're a really awesome band. But anyway, what am I trying for today, folks? What are we doing here? Well, like I said, I just got off work. I got inside. A lot of times I'll go over there when I get off work. I'll, go to McDonald's or whatever, just get a little something for myself. But today, I'm trying to be a little bit thriftier. Had to take off work for a week because of an injury, so I'm trying to be a little bit. So I decided to start digging into my cupboard of review stuff. And I found something that I was like, that just works. It happens to be, boom! It is from Paldo, Fun and Yum, lobster flavored noodle soup. This is their Lobster King Noodle Sabador de Langosto Sriracha flavor. So basically, it's from a company called Paldo. Lobster Sriracha King Noodle stuff. Yes. Yeah, man. I honestly don't remember exactly where I got this one from. I'm guessing I got it from a little Asian place. They opened up this little Asian supermarket. It's not exactly by me, but sometimes I go by it. And a couple months ago, I went through there and I bought up a bunch of fun, interesting stuff, and I'm guessing that's where I got this. So, and mind you, I have tried some lobster sriracha related ramen before because I actually have an entire playlist called Ramen Reviews where I just post up like instant noodle reviews and stuff. And one of them was a sriracha ramen, lobster flavored ramen. So, let's go ahead and mix it up. And it was just pour it up to the top or pour it up to the line, put it in for 5 minutes, all that good stuff. I will say it's very soupy at the 5 minute mark. I maybe would have done like 5:30 just to kind of get a little bit more of the watery stuff out. But all right, let's get a thing for the thing. It looks like this. Ha 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 ha. Let's give it a go. Smells good. Smells good, is good. Yeah. I like the consistency of the noodles. They're springy. They got a little bite to them. Very tasty. They carry the flavor of the broth nicely. The broth itself, just from the noodle experience, not by itself, I'll do that. But it's nice. Definitely has that sriracha aspect to it. Um, and I've tried, like I said, I've tried sriracha ramen, and I really like it. So it's interesting to try, kind of a different variety of it, in sort of how they put it together. I would honestly say I think that this one has a little bit more heat to it than like the actual sriracha branded stuff. Yeah, it's got a little bit more oomph to it. It kind of lingers on the tongue and in your mouth a little bit more than I recall the sriracha one doing. But it's good, man. It's got lots of flavor. These are the type of ramens that I'm a big fan of because, you can just do one bowl of this. It's nice for a quick meal, and it's actually kind of nice to eat. Now, here's the real question: does it taste anything like lobster? Um, Not terribly. Like when I reviewed the lobster sriracha ramen, the other one, that one, there was kind of an overall sort of seafood sort of flavor to it. With this one, it's more just kind of a savory spiciness. I think the sriracha is a little bit heavier in this one, which might be why it's also got a little bit more of a bite to it. So yeah, I think that they kind of the proportions might have been a little bit off. I'm not getting a lot in the way of the lobster flavor, but let's try some of just the broth by itself. No, not even in the broth really. Again, it's just kind of a savory, somewhat spicy broth. Um, I'm surprised because like I wouldn't, it's not even like there's like a seafood kind of flavor to it. It's just sort of. Try again. I mean, it's really nice. Like the broth tastes good. It's got a lot of flavor. Got some nice heat to it. Not crazy hot or anything, but it's there, and it definitely kind of grabs at the back of your throat a little bit. I mean, it's good. I like it overall. I think it's really tasty. I just the lobster aspect of it, I don't think is very well represented. I think that they put a little bit too much emphasis on the sriracha, and I feel like the seafood or lobster aspect might have gotten left behind a little bit. But it is really tasty. Now all that said, two questions have to be asked. Would I get it again? Would I recommend it? Ooh, who's got an adorable hamster? I've got an adorable hamster. 1 second. Oh, who's a good girl? Who gets a treat? I would go over there and pick her up and show her to you, but she's not a very like sociable hamster like that. She's adorable and I love her, but I have hamsters by the way, if you didn't know. But yeah, so if would I get it again? I think I'm gonna go with yes. Would I recommend it? Kinda. So for me personally, despite the fact that I feel like it is lacking that lobster flavor, I like it a lot in terms of like the depth of flavor that the broth has. Like I said, the noodle consistency is good. I like the heat level that I'm getting from it. Again, I think it's actually maybe a little bit stronger than the normal sriracha stuff that I usually try out. I like pretty much everything about it. The only thing that I think it's missing is that lobster flavor. I just don't really feel like that's really that prominent. But in terms of the overall flavor, it's really tasty. Like it's exactly the type of ramen that I like. It's filling. It's actually got a little complexity to it. It doesn't taste like I'm just eating it for the sake of, you know, putting calories inside me. I can enjoy it a little bit. If I'm recommending it, kinda, because there's different things. Like for one, if you're expecting a lot of lobster flavor, first of all, even at the best of times, it's fucking cup of noodles. But even by those standards, again, I personally am not getting a lot of lobster flavor. So I think if that's what you're kind of looking forward to, you know. And then even beyond that, it's a thing of, and I've mentioned this before, when it comes to like recommending, these like cup of ramen and stuff like that, there's sort of two camps. Like you have people like me who basically are just sort of, I'll be honest, kind of lazy about shit, and I just don't want to cook all the time. So these are nice for like quick little meals. I think for those people, I think absolutely. Because, again, it's got a lot of flavor. It's really tasty. It's filling. It's going to be a good time for ramen's sake. Then there's the other group of people where they're more casual about it. It's like something they might grab for And maybe they're just going to work, they want to have something to pop in the microwave for lunch. Probably not. I think this would probably be a bit much. Um, I will say the spice aspect of it is, for me, it's very enjoyable, but I could see it maybe being a little bit off-putting for some people, but it's not crazy or anything. So, I don't know. I like it. It's not going to be for everybody, but I do think that it has a lot of merit. It just doesn't have a lot of lobster flavor. 5 things before I get out of here. Have yourself a great rest of your day, spectacular rest of the week, monumental rest of the month, stupendous rest of your folks. Go there and yourselves a truly lobster-tastic rest of your life. This has been weird in that this is like the second time in just relatively few days where I've been underwhelmed by lobster. Me and a friend of mine were hanging out, and we ordered some food from Red Lobster, and they had a lobster flatbread, and I was like, oh my god, yes. And I went over there and I ordered it, and it was like the lamest thing ever, man. It was just so weak, you know. It's like you can kind of see why, their quality's been dipping for a while. But final 2 things. Number 1, try to bring some positivity into the world. It's not always possible. It is, however, always appreciated. But what you can't do all the time. I know I can't do all the time. Here's what you're gonna do, folks. You're gonna try not to be an asshole. Folks, not always the easiest thing in the world to not be an asshole. Trust me. I know it. I live it. I'm out there every day with you in it. Life can be stressful and frustrating and just bullshit sometimes, folks. And when we find ourselves in situations where we have to deal with said bullshit, it's important we go over there whenever possible. Take a step back, try to mitigate the level of assholishness in our lives, hopefully do better for ourselves and for those around us. Very final thing, folks, do the thing. Whatever the thing is for you, that's what I want you to go out and do. Folks, I've mentioned this before, but when it comes to these ramen reviews, first of all, what do you think about them? Like, are they helpful to you? Are you watching them purely just for, whatever entertainment factor you might get out of them? Or is there actually a consumer aspect to it? Are you looking at this and saying, okay, yeah, I'm going to use that? Because when it comes to a lot of the things that I review, like fast food and shit like that, there's a much more direct connection, I feel, with you as the audience. Whereas something like this, it is a little bit more kind of niche. So I'm wondering about that. Is it something, I'm going to keep reviewing them anyway, but is it something that you feel is actually worth your time? Or again, is it more just for the sake of watching the video? I don't know. But anyway,